Hi kids, it's me, Mr. Tony man, and it's that time again for another week of video art lessons. Man. Why am I saying man? Well, I'm trying to do a Jamaican accent. It's not a very good accent. The language of Jamaica is English, but there's this nice rich accent, and I didn't do it very well, but they do like to say man a lot. And you'll notice here, I have something inside art, a little graphic design inside the letters, ART, for our art introduction. And some of you may recognize that. It's a flag, the Jamaican flag, man. That's our country for this week, Jamaica. So we're going to be learning about the culture of Jamaica, the art of Jamaica, the music of Jamaica. Maybe you'll learn about the food of Jamaica, Jamaican jerk chicken, which is one of my favorite dishes. But I, of course, am going to be doing the visual arts, and I really have to study up on it because I didn't know much about the visual arts in Jamaica. I do know a little bit about the music of Jamaica, mainly reggae music, which is a very popular music nowadays. There's also ska music, which comes out of reggae music, and there's a couple of bands I really love that make ska music. So I know about music, but not too much about art. Before we begin the art lesson I have planned, let's learn a little bit about Jamaica and where it is. Well, Jamaica is in the Caribbean Sea. It's in the Caribbean, down here where we were before with the Dominican Republic. Okay, this is us up here in New Jersey. And down here we have the Dominican Republic, which is on the island of Hispaniola. It shares that island with Haiti. And then over here is another smaller island, and that is Jamaica. Okay, Jamaica, that is Jamaica. Okay, the island nation of Jamaica. And what I thought we'd do for today was, we'll keep it real simple. We're gonna do a flag, and we're gonna kind of do something like this. It's a graphic that is inside of something else. It's inside the letters, art, A-R-T. And that's a kind of a design trick that's often used by designers world. They will take letters and then put something inside it, maybe a picture, maybe a graphic design. I think a few weeks ago I did art, I forget what the subject was, but I believe I did a landscape inside the letters A-R-T. I painted a little landscape, a little grass, a little sky. So we're gonna do something like that, but not inside letters. We're gonna do it a Jamaican flag inside the country of Jamaica, the island of Jamaica. Okay, I need paper for that. Where's the paper I'm going to use? Oh, it's on my board already, right there. Now, the island of Jamaica, you know, I looked it up, and I don't have a picture of it in front of me, and I should have done that. But it's kind of a simple shape. Okay, I'm going to start with the top of the island here. It has a little bump over there and kind of a hump. It almost looks like an old dried up hot dog with a little bit of a bun there. This is a very imperfect Jamaica. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look it up real quick. I can cut this out. I figured out how to do it, so you'll see it cut. Okay, I'm back. And I looked at the island. I'm going to draw a heavy outline. And like I was saying, it's like a dried up hot dog over here, and then sticking out over here on the other end, and maybe this is kind of its lumpy bun. And then the bun down here, well, something else happens down here. There's this little, it's almost like a little peninsula. That's a little piece of land sticking out over there, and then another land over here. Okay, but that's roughly the island of Jamaica, the shape of Jamaica. Now, if that's too hard for you to do, you can just do a bit of the flag, okay? Just kind of floating in your paper. That was another idea for the lesson that I had, but I decided to do this, where I'm going to put the flag inside the actual island shape of Jamaica. And I've actually seen that. Some designers have done that before. It's been done. We're going to do it again here. Okay, so that's Jamaica. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center right about there. And I'm going to make an X. And this is kind of a flat X. Okay, usually X's are very up and down, but this is, think of it as a flat X. This is a very flat X. I have to turn it a little bit towards me so I get it right. Okay, and that's the basic X shape. And then I want to make those stripes, which are making the X, pretty heavy, pretty thick. I don't want just one line for the stripe. It's got to be a pretty thick stripe. And I'm going to fill it in, but not 100% solid. I'm going to fill it in a little bit rough because I want some of the paper to show through, because I'm going to add some watercolor at the end to make it a little bit more of a work of art. And if you recall, when I add watercolor to crayon, I get a wax resist effect, which I always like. So I'll color it heavy, but I'll leave some of it a little bit rough and undone. Okay, and I'm staying inside the island shape that I made. Okay, next, green. Let's look at the sample I have here. Okay, so the green is above the X and below the X. I'll outline it first. I'll even outline the island part like that, and then I'll fill it in. Like I said, I won't fill it in 100%. I'll leave it a little bit rough, so I have little bits of white showing through for the paint that I'm going to add. Okay, and then the bottom, outline it a little, outline the island, that little hook. I don't know what part of Jamaica that is. I think Kingston is over here, and Kingston is a well-known city in Jamaica. I've never been to Jamaica. I know some of the students have been to Jamaica. One student in particular, Avani, I think you go to Jamaica every now and then, so you probably know Jamaica better than me. Well, you definitely know it better than me because you've been there. I've never been there. Looks nice though. Looks like a nice place to visit. Nice beaches. Okay, that's the green. Yellow and green. One last color for the flag. The darkest color of all the colors, the color that's practically no color, black. It is kind of like a color, but it's a color where, if you think about light in a room, if you turned all the lights off and there was absolutely no light, things would be pitch black. You're not seeing anything. So black is kind of like nothing. Although blacks usually have certain shades to them, like you'll have a bluish black or a warm black. This pretty much looks like black to me. I know when I buy paint, there are different kinds of black. There's Mars black, and I think Mars black is a little bit bluish. Okay, so that's black, and that's the flag. Right, and now I'm gonna outline the whole island. Now, if I was being really technical, I would have a good map of Jamaica, and I would get all the little bumps right. America has a little, well, kind of like this, has a little funny little shape of Florida sticking out one end. And then it has Texas, which has another little shape sticking out. And Jamaica, it's the first time I ever really looked at the island, is not exactly a shape that you can identify. Some countries look like other things, like Italy looks like a boot. Okay, Jamaica, like I was saying, looks like, oh, maybe it looks like a chicken leg or something, but then you have that little thing sticking out, so that doesn't quite work. I was thinking it was kind of like a hot dog with the funny bun and then a little bit of hot dog sticking out either end. It gets skinnier on the ends, a little fatter in the middle, but it has these little peninsulas. Peninsula is part of the land that's small and kind of sticks out into the water, like, or the ocean, like Florida. Florida sticks out into the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, Jamaica's in the Caribbean Sea. Okay. What's next? Well, what's last, actually? The watercolor. That's basically the assignment right there. We could add a little blue for the sea. Just thought of that right now. A little blue for the Caribbean Sea. But I want to add watercolor to it to make it look a little more artistic. And I'm going to use brown, a nice earth tone. Okay, there. A little bit of ocean. Now I could have just done lines like this, like I did on the map, but I think I'll just get that nice brush effect back and forth. Okay, and while we are doing the watercolor, I am going to play some Jamaican music. And this music came before reggae music. It's a kind of calypso. It's a special kind of calypso. Calypso music in general is a Caribbean type music that often has the steel drums, and you may have heard that before. It's the steel that's been hammered in such a way so you get all these different notes and tones. It's a very nice sound and has a very Caribbean sound to it. I found out that Jamaica has its own kind of Caribbean music, which is called mento, and that came before reggae and actually influenced reggae and ska music. And here it is. I'm going to play it while I do the watercolor. Sounds a little old. It's from the 50s. It's got a lot of bongos, nice rhythms, and singing. And they are singing in English. The language of Jamaica is English, although there is something called a Jamaican patois, which is kind of a mixture of different languages, little Creole, certain special sayings. That's what I was trying to imitate in the beginning, man, which I didn't do a very good job of. Okay, I'm going to use brown, and I'm going to brush over my picture here and get a nice little wax resist effect. If you have watercolors, you can do this. If not, just work with your crayons. And if you don't have crayons, just watch and learn. You see, gives it kind of a nice earthy look. Gives it a nice texture. If I wanted a perfect flag, I would have just used construction paper and cut out the shapes to look exactly like a Jamaican flag, which is something you can do, especially if you're decorating the room. But I think since we're making art, we do something a little more interesting with it. You know, putting the flag inside the country or the island of Jamaica, and then adding the brown watercolor to it. Now it's a work of art. It could be a poster for Jamaica. I could write Jamaica across the top. Maybe I'll do that. One last thing. I was going to try and be quick. I'm going to add Jamaica. And what color? Let's see. I will use brown. Where's brown? There's brown. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little trick for doing lettering. Okay, so I want Jamaica to go from here all the way over to here, and the letters are going to be spaced out a bit. So I know that J is the first letter, Ja, and A is the last letter, A. Jamaica. I kind of worked this out before. Gotta check it out again. Jamaica. Okay, and pretty much A, again, is right in the center, or close to it. There's another A right there. And then in between here, I have AM, and then ICA. Okay, so the A, and I'll do this roughly, go right about there, and the M right about there. Ja. That says jam, Jamaica. And then over here I have an I and a C. Gotta make sure I'm spelling it right. I'd hate to make a spelling mistake after all this work. Let me turn that down a little bit. Jamaica, he's saying Jamaica. Oh, broke my crayon again. I've advised against holding the crayon a certain way. It'll break. I've advised you to hold it near the tip, which I wasn't doing, and I just broke it. So now I really have to hold it near the tip. Okay, there's the I and the C, and it's all spaced out, and it says Jamaica. Okay, so that's it for today. Kind of a little poster, a little work of art with the flag of Jamaica and the island of Jamaica, and now the title, Jamaica. Okay, so that's our first Jamaica lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and you were able to make something out of crayon if you had only crayon, or maybe watercolor and crayon if you had that. If not, I hope you're able to watch it and enjoy it, and you learned a little bit about Jamaica, and you probably never heard this music before. Mento Calypso music from Jamaica. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.